Hey everyone, and welcome to another one of our videos. Today is going to be speaker upgrade day for the 2011 F-150 Raptor. I recently had to fix some wiring issues with the stereo back behind the actual head unit itself. Now that those are fixed, I'm ready to throw in some new speakers because the passenger side one is blown and the other ones are a little bit worse for wear. And certainly the Sony systems that come in these trucks aren't exactly the best things in the world. So, from Stage 3 Motorsports, I was able to pick up basically a plug-and-play bolt-in upgrade kit. Just direct swap type of deal with kicker, KSC 680 speakers. So I have two of these in this box. I have two in another box for both the front and the rear doors. And then I have, that came with the kit, Metra 72-5600 wiring harnesses that will allow us to plug and play these speakers that take the little spade connectors to the factory wiring harness that you can kind of see in there. So this should be a really easy installation. I'm going to kind of walk you through the process. I'm not going to cover in detail the door panel removal. There's some really good videos on YouTube that I'll link in the description that cover that in significantly more detail and do a really great job of showing you how to take off the door panels both front and rear. So I'll put those in the description. What I'm going to cover mostly is kind of showing you in general where the door panel fasteners are, taking old speakers out, plugging the new ones in, and any nuances with that. So I'm going to go over to the truck. I'm going to start by showing you how to take the passenger side door panel off, and then we'll move on from there. I'm ready to pull off the passenger side door panel. In order to do that, there's a few different fasteners. There's one in here underneath the cover in the door handle pocket. There's one right here in this behind this cover in the door handle area itself. And then there are two at the bottom of the door panel. Once I've gotten those out, basically I'm going to kind of lever the door panel out, lift it up. Like I said, great videos on YouTube. I'm going to link to those so you can see the full process. And then from there, there's going to be a couple connectors that I have to remove for the window switch and the lock switch, as well as a cable for the door handle. So I'll get to that point where the door panel is off and out of the way and show you the speaker replacement. It should be very straightforward. All right, so you can see we have the speaker out now. All it has is four 5.5 millimeter screws, one in each corner. You pull those out, and then you're presented with the speaker connected to this connector here. And in order to disconnect that, there's a little push tab right here on this side of the connector. You just push it down, and the connector will pull out of the speaker. So, speaker's out. That one was definitely blown. You can feel as you push the cone up and down, it's all gritty and nasty in the coil. So, I'm going to go ahead and take you back to the bench and show you how to get the new kicker speaker prepped and ready to go into the truck. Got the kicker speakers in the box here, got the wiring harnesses like I showed earlier. I just wanted to show you guys what these speakers come with whenever you order them. At least from Stage 3 Motorsports, this is exactly what you're going to get. You got your speakers in the box, nothing else in there. The speakers did have kind of stuffed in there a little quick start guide, which really isn't going to do a whole lot for you when you're installing them in one of these trucks. Looks like we have a stop, talk to tech support sticker. I think from here we should be able to unwrap these guys fairly easily. So, here's one of the new speakers. I don't know if I mentioned, these are 6x8s. They should bolt in exactly perfect. So, there's our new speaker. Now, on the back side of the speaker, we have two connection points, little spade terminals. And essentially, all we're going to do to get those ready to go is match colors, black to black, white to white. Stick these spades on there, and you're done. And they're actually sized differently as well. Bigger, smaller. So you can't connect it the wrong way. So, I'm going to go ahead and just press those guys on and take the speaker over to the truck and show you the installation of the speaker. Alrighty, so I changed up the way that I'm going to install this a little bit after playing with it for a minute. I decided to zip tie the connector to this little convenient point right back here that has a little bit of a cutout on the shell of the speaker. So, zip tying the connector there and installing it right side up, I actually end up with the wiring harness and connection pretty much in the exact same spot as original. So, I can go ahead and plug this guy in, clicks into place, just like so, and the speaker will sit back in there just like the original one did. Now that that is where it should be, I can go ahead and get the little 5.5 millimeter screws just started. And I'll show you guys this real time, the actual reinstallation. So So there's 2 screws in, 3, and 4. Right there. And we take our 1/4-inch drive impact. Get them all zipped into place. And then I'll give it a little bit of a final tight. And there we go, new speakers installed. Everything's nice and secure, nice and sealed. So what I'm going to do before I put the whole door panel completely back together is plug the controls back in. I don't know if the CAN bus system is going to get mad or not if I don't have these in with the ignition on, but I'm going to go ahead and plug these guys back in and then power up the truck and make sure that the speaker works. And if that's the case, then I'm going to move on to the next door. Alrighty, so now we're onto the rear door, and there's a little bit of nuance to this one, and that it's different from the front. You have the same screw that you remove right here, you have the same 2 down at the bottom, but you have to remove this trim piece that goes up the pillar of the door, and there's a screw back there as well, instead of there being one in the door handle pocket. So, I'm going to go ahead, pop those loose. Again, really good tutorials on YouTube. Again, they'll be linked in the description. So, I'm going to go ahead and pop those loose, and then show you what's behind the door panel here. This is the plug that you remove from the rear door controls, or should I just say window switch, because that's all it is. And then here you have the rear door speaker. Totally different setup. It's got a little built-in tweeter, so it's kind of a coaxial speaker, except it's not actually coming out of the center like most do. Same removal process. You got the 4 5.5 millimeter screws. Take them out like so. I know I didn't show this process for the front door, but it is the same. You just pull out the 4 screws. And then stays in there. So we put our impact down, and we should be able to pull out the speaker easily. And connector is right here. As you can see, push the tab down, pull it out, and it's removed. This speaker doesn't feel too bad, but I can feel a little bit of grittiness in it, so this one has had a hard life, to say the least. So, like I said, I'm going to go ahead, put the new one in. It's going to be the same process as the front one, so I'm not going to show it on camera, but I will show you the finished product and any wiring nuances or anything like that that I do on this side as well. Alrighty, so I have the new speaker ready to go. This one's going to get installed right side up as well. The connection is on the other side compared to the front door, but what I did was loop the wires around for the speaker input. I put some protective braided sleeving on them, and then I zip tied them in place on the speaker itself, as you can hopefully see on camera. And we have the connector coming out more or less in the factory spot as well. So, same thing's going to happen. Going to just slip into place once we connect the connectors, and we're going to be good to go. So, I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera, because I have the camera kind of in my way right now for doing that. And then put the door panel on, make sure everything works before we actually secure it all in place, and move on to the driver's side. Essentially, the driver's side is going to be exactly the same as this passenger side. So what I'm going to do is put this side back together, make sure everything works. I'm going to do that after every speaker. And then driver's side, going to be exactly the same process. Driver's front door has a few more connectors, but again, there's some videos online that you can see all of that information in. So I'm going to just show you the parts that are applicable to this speaker install in terms of how I'm routing the wires or anything like that. So I'm going to come back with that bit, and then we're going to wrap up. Alright, so this is the driver's side door. Obviously everything's disconnected, speaker out. Ready to put the new one in, but wanted to show you the wiring first. Basically did the same thing as the passenger side rear. A little bit of braided sleeving on the adapter harness. Plugged in, looped around, comes out that side. So I can install the speaker right side up, connector coming out, going into the connector here. So this is driver's side front, and then I'll show you what I do for driver's side rear, and then I'll wrap up the video. Alrighty, so I have the driver's rear door panel out. Wiring harness comes from this side. So the way I set up the speaker is the same way as the passenger front, wrapping around the bottom. Harness clipped in place there, or zip tied in place, I should say. And then when I put it together, it should just click into place. But we have the same issue with the bent pins on this one as well. I've had to bend the pins on every single one of these harnesses so far. A little bit towards the center. Not a huge deal. Just took a little pry tool, take a screwdriver or whatever, and just bend them in a little bit. So I gotta go do that. Everything should plug in at that point, and then we'll be ready to button this guy up, and I'll wrap up the video. Installation is now complete. All 4 door speakers are replaced. Everything sounds great. The one passenger speaker over on the other side that was blown is no longer blown, of course. No more rattling, no more horrible sound. And the sound quality out of these is definitely a lot better than the stock speakers. They're by no means the highest end speakers that you're going to put in the vehicle, but for me, this is just a truck to haul stuff around and, you know, maybe occasionally take off-road and whatnot. Not a big deal for me. So I just wanted a working stereo system. It actually sounds pretty darn good for a factory stereo system now. I have the tweeters to put in the front A-pillars, but I'm not going to do those at least for a little while. I'm going to just enjoy the system as it is. Summer here in Arizona. Probably not going to mess with that until winter whenever the weather's nice. So, all in all, I can definitely recommend these things. The kit from Stage 3 Motorsports went in really nicely, smoothly. Everything fit no problem. Wiring harnesses were plug and play, although with a little bit of pin bending. But it's really a great system. And if you just want a nice little upgrade, you don't want anything too fancy or anything, and you don't want to be cutting or wiring or anything like that, this is great. So, let me know if you have any questions in the comment section below. Look forward at some point to a tweeter installation video. And with that, I want to thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care.